And there we go. I think... Oh, just as we pick up the mood file.
Where was it? In Paradox?
Yeah, the Paradox, the left chest of the two. So that's the moon pile there for Muffins. And a bomb boat.
Okay, 2 out of 3 medallions. We still haven't seen what Maya requires.
And a sword. There we go. That's where all the items were. And
So Paradox was the answer all along.
it seems like it.
And of course, that too is a Sphere 1 check.
Yep. So I wonder if Muffins is just going to decide to go into Hera now. Just get it done. Actually, it looked like they were... Oh no, they are going to Hera. For a moment there, I thought they were going into Pod.
Okay, so, well, each of our runners will get their first crystal shortly. Very nice almost quick kill by Buyer there.
Yep. Very well practiced. Oh, we've got no bombs here to... Oh, we just picked one
We've
up.
got
So...
one bomb.
one bomb, so...
For Burna. Okay, that's both items out of Hera.
Yep.
That also means 50-50 that the small key is locking itself and we won't be able to get at it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we can still pick up the one from the Key Rat in Hyrule Castle. I mean, Muffins already has been there, so... And
there's the... You were right, the mirror was at Saha.
Yep.
And Buyer just kept putting it off. Nothing like having the cape out to save you from horror, having to do Moldorm the way the game intended.
Yeah, at least we got the cape. Did we have a mushroom on MrByer's side? Or is he just going to pick up some fake flutes? Yeah, just picking up some blue potions. As Muffins picks up his first crystal. Doesn't look like we got the key, so the small key does lock itself.
Yeah, so we can't, like, go to Dark Cross and then just walk to the back. And... oh, here's our first look at the Dark World map. I saw Green Pendant Pod, and I saw 5, 6, and Thieves. I did not see where our third pendant is.
Oh, it was Ice Palace.
Ah, okay. Remind me where the glove was?
So that was in the cannibal chest in Eastern Palace.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
Ooh, I like this from Muffins. Quite an aggressive play to be checking out GT this early into the seed.
I mean, you can't finish the seed without the bug net, right?
True.
Somewhere Gamachu is smiling. But yeah, we don't have Samaria, so we can't go past here. But there's the lamp.
Okay.
That's also our fire source for the time being.
Definitely, and that's going to make a few people happy. All those lamp lovers out there.
So yeah, I'd say that early GT play paid off.
Yeah, so far, it's always nice to get that early fire source. Sometimes it's one of those things, you know, it's generally people leave it till a lot later. GT, you like to preferably clear it at the end, or if you've got like Hammer or Samaria and you can get a little bit further through. But sometimes just going there early is just the play you need just to kind of give you that edge.
And MrByer's finally on the East Mountain, so he will be getting his Moon Pearl and sword shortly.
Yep. And that bombos.
Which, who knows, may open up the front of Turtle Rock if we actually want to go in the front of Turtle Rock, which seems unlikely with the mirror.
Yeah, we won't obviously want to get in at this point. We'll probably go check Catfish over Turtle Rock.
I don't know, you wouldn't do Laser Bridge here?
Laser Bridge is out of logic until Canis Samaria anyway. The only check that's actually in logic at this point is Chain Chomps.
Oh, right, because even with Mirror, it expects you to go to the big chest and continue down from there.
Oh, did Muffins have no bombs? Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Well, we did see him blow through his last bomb in Hera.
Yeah. I think wanted to check that one chest in, what's it called? Hookshot Cave. But I had to leave. Also, your pun is excused. Okay, this is a pyramid fairy check, so we'll probably do this into Hyrule Castle, front of Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, we haven't seen the front of Escape yet, have we?
No, we've seen the back from MrByer, and Dark
Right.
Cross was also nothing.
Right, MrByer actually got into the back of Escape using the glove.
Yeah.
Oh, nice
Nice.
splash delete from MrByer. I wasn't sure since he'd beaten Armos if his Ancilla would work for that. Oh, bottle number 2 from Uncle.
Yeah, so I mean, this seed's still not giving us too much direction right now.
No, like, a hammer would be nice, the rods would be nice, some Arya, hookshot.
Anything to let us full clear a dungeon without having to
Yeah.
worry.
I mean, we do have 2 crystals available. Each runner's gotten one of them.
Yeah. You know, hopefully Muffins can find their way into Eastern at some point quite soon. Although, to complete the seed, I don't believe we actually need a glove. Because Ice Palace is a pendant. That's kind of the only reason we'd ever need a glove.
We also could gamble Thieves Town without the hammer right now.
Yep. So, I mean, in an ideal situation, we don't need that many items. Doesn't look like we're having much luck, and I think that's going to be a map in Zelda Cell.
But Muffins doesn't know that.
Not yet. Unless I missed the map somewhere. So it looks like MrByer is heading over there, so might be able to check that one check in Hookshot Cave. Can go in from the front. I don't know if MrByer hovers.
So where's the small key for Escape?
I'm guessing it was in the back.
Oh, or did we get that in, like... I think we might have gotten it in Boomerang Chest, actually.
The small key wouldn't be in Boomerang Chest.
Oh, right, it can't be even
Yeah.
in HMG. Map Chest?
Maybe map chests. I didn't see what was in map chest.
That was a really quick look at the ledge, but it's something we want. Just bombs, but for Muffins, bombs are worth more than gold.
We're going to have a quick look at the medallion here, which is a quite which is what we do have. Well, Muffins is on an adventure. Who needs hammer? Who needs flippers?
Is this our first look at Hype Cave, though?
Yes, I believe so. Looks like MrByer is trying to set up a fake flute. Oh, misses it.
Ooh, silver's in Hype Cave. That's a nice find this early. And bottle number 3.
So I wonder if Muffins is going to go have a look around MrByer. Even though we don't have that kind of Samaria, we can pull out those 2 items. We can go and open up like swamp and stuff. Especially for Muffins as well, because they're not going to be able to use the small key in... or unlikely to use the small key from the key rat. And MrByer still has that opportunity, but... hasn't done Hera yet, so doesn't know that the small key is locked in the basement.
Mail upgrade on Bumper Ledge, and MrByer has no interest. Or, no, he is. Okay. I thought he was leaving, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is glitches. We don't go the normal way.
I know, but like back when he had first gone over this way, I thought he was just going to abandon it.
Ah. I was going to say that was mighty brave of him if he decides to abandon a blue mail. Maybe a red mail you might skip, but... Oh.
Hey, since there was 21 in Meyer's shed, is that blackjack?
Wrong game. Unfortunately, blackjack is not one of the games that you can play in Link to the Past. You have to play pick a chest. I'd say it's more related to Mario Maker with the pick-a-pipe levels.
And yeah, okay, there was the sewers key in map chest of escape.
So we'll see what Muffins decides to do here, because they can, like you said, clear thieves down without that hammer. But do they want to?
Sometimes you have to deal with the same decisions you'd have to make in a non-glitched mode.
For sure. Be interesting because at this point we don't actually need the hammer to complete the seed.
Oh right, Pod's a pendant.
Yeah. I mean, the key logic depends on that in Thieves Town, and obviously the GT big key where that ends up, but potentially we don't need a hammer.
Right, for HMG, Pod and Ice are the only dungeons that hard require a hammer.
Are we going to get the Muffins dash?
Oh, and there was our other mail upgrade in C-shaped house.
So this is Dark Cross here from MrByer, so we'll pick up a little bit of cash here. Red Cane!
That's a nice find. Now we can really start thinking about Turtle Rock, though we still don't have either rod.
Yeah, I think at this point they're more inclined to go to MrByer. I didn't catch the medallion. It has been marked as Quake. So I'm going to assume that information is correct. So we can go into MrByer. We can go and open up some doors in Swamp, although we need flippers to actually finish it.
Okay, I caught Quake as the medallion for Turtle Rock, so I guess it's both.
Yeah, I completely missed it. I'm just going by the tracker. Which shout-outs to Malmo for tracking and clicking those buttons.
So, no key in the front of Thieves, which is kind of good news. That makes it 50-50 that the small key is just locking itself, and since we don't really care about logic, we won't care that Blind's hammer locked.
We've got Silver Arrow, so we're not worried about Vitreous. Muffins has also got the incentive that he has found the lamp. So there's definitely reason to be going to MrByer. It's a dungeon we need to clear, a crystal.
Has MrByer gotten the lamp when we weren't looking, or did he just not bother checking Pyramid Ledge?
No, lamp was in GT.
Oh, lamp was in GT. Sorry. Oh,
yeah.
Right, it was bombs on Pyramid Ledge. It's Friday. My brain is fried. I need the weekend.
That's fine. I mean, when you do plant a bomb, it is explosives and does light up the room, so doesn't quite count in the Hyrule logic.
Very nice tam swam by MrByer all the way across the pyramid. That's much swaggier than getting into it from the mountain.
Yep. The swim clip after that discovery has just kind of opened up so many routing possibilities. It's been such a nice discovery there. That kind of gives us like an Ice Rod Cave start, like the Hobo Ice Rod Cave start. Also lets us get to Zora Ledge item. If we have to pick up the Zora item. So yeah, it's got a lot of possibilities, that swim clip. Aha, Muffins remembering he doesn't have the glove.
Because he's avoiding Eastern like the plague. I mean, yeah. Given that Pod's a pendant, I don't see the continued justification for avoiding Eastern.
We'll have to go there eventually, but maybe he just wants to route it in quite a bit later. Oh, never mind.
There's the other glove, French Vanilla in Thieves.
Yeah.
Which also means the small key's locking itself, so everything's good.
Yep. Oh,
and
yeah.
He remembers he has the glove and can exit this way.
Incredible. 10 out of 10.
So I expect MrByer to get... Well, I mean, I expect them both to get Titan's Mitts because... You know, I can't see them go-moding Eastern or Thieves.
Yeah, not at this point. I mean, they'll get it eventually once they get on that dungeon rush.
Well, and I think the glove in Eastern is before the big key, so you absolutely have to check that chest.
Yeah, definitely. Because even if they are in go mode, they'll still get their lovely Titans. So MrByer is going to have the added convenience of being able to check checkerboard here. It was, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if Muffins now doubles back and goes into MrByer rather than Skullwoods. I stand corrected.
Skullwoods without the fire rod, okay.
Yeah. Or not.
I mean, up to Dark Death Mountain? Or no Muffins never did Bumper Ledge, right? And is gonna grab Red Mail, huh?
Yeah, not the worst grab. I mean, you're still on that fighter sword. Things can go easily wrong.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm just I feel like most runners at 10 hearts wouldn't take 5 seconds to grab red mail.
Yeah, I guess Muffins was kind of like, gotta stick to the plan. You know? Because that's the worst thing that happens. You find an item, you're just like, oh, okay, I'm going to go follow that Samaria. And then actually, no, you should have just stuck to the plan. So, just getting these checks done now. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me a Maya play or a save and quit and then over to Eastern. Or Pod and Eastern.
Hey, there's the mushroom.
Oh, that's it. That's all we want. Give us Muffins an added incentive to now go to Catfish.
I mean, it makes sense. There's a pretty good chance the second item's in the back and locked behind the fire rod.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man, he's now going to Misery Mire. I guess when you're in a competitive race, sometimes you've got to make these decisions like that.
And now Muffin's going back to tie up some loose ends now that he finally has a glove. Still haven't found flippers, which we will eventually need for Swamp.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're only flippers, hook shot, and both rods away from go mode. I mean, logically, we know a hammer's around because Thieves Town was Hammerlock.
I mean, it could also be the GT Big Key is on the Hammerlocked side of GT.
Yep. That is also true.
Since we've already done 3 of the non-Hammerlock checks, there's actually better than a 50-50 chance that the Big Key's Hammerlocked at this point.
I guess we'll find out. It's one of those really rare situations, but it's like when you're in a normal seed or an open seed, when you get to GT and you don't have boots, and then Big Key's on the torch, and you're just like, where do I go now?
Except that there's a somewhat higher chance of GT Big Key being Hammerlocked.
Yes. Let's face it, it's probably in Pendant Pod. Hammer likes to sit around there for some reason.
Well, it's always sunny there.
Sunny in Palace of Darkness.
Yes, don't you remember the league team name? It's always sunny in Pendant Pod.
Oh, no. I'll have to keep my eye out for that one. That team. Gonna have to have a few words. It'd be interesting to see what MrByer does, because without that lamp, he's got a little less incentive to go to Misery Mire. Oh.
Well, there's the annoying rod. It doesn't help us at the moment, but it's out of the way, and we'll need it eventually.
Yeah. So Muffins didn't open up cutscene, so I'm wondering, or didn't head that way. I'm guessing they're doing the glitch where you can dash into the wall, the dash citrus or whatever it's called, and you don't actually have to open up the door, which I'm very intrigued to see because I've never seen it before. Might have to do it anyway, because we're 50-50 whether an item's on the boss or in what's it called? The cutscene chest. Whoops. Whoops. There we go. That button can be so trolly. There we go. We've evened up for crystals for the short time. So let's see what MrByer does. He might have more incentive to go to Swamp without that fire source, which not Swamp, Skullwoods. So we'll be getting his mushroom, which is a little bit more inconvenient for him because he has done catfish. Yeah, Swamp Woods. Always muddling up Swamp and Skullwoods and Thieves Town and Turtle Rock. I'm always getting those two mixed up.
Swamp Woods and Skull Palace.
Yeah. So that's our second item actually in the cutscene anyway. So
hey, that means we get Turtle Town, right?
Turtle Town, yeah. Turtle Town. MrByer also one and done.
I mean, I kind of like it. You get one item that quickly. And it's like an actual item, not junk. I mean, it might be junk, but
this
you can track it.
This might be bad for MrByer. Oh, okay, doing Smith Chain. Okay, that might be good. I thought they were going to go to MrByer.
Oh, without a fire source.
Yeah, they would. He would get his big key, but he wouldn't get that ice rod. So MrByer desperately needs a fire rod bailout right now.
Hey, maybe Smith's or Purple Chest has it.
Maybe. And then Muffins will have to hurry up and get to Eastern to get his Titans. But if we do get nothing here on the Smith Chain, MrByer is going to have to make some decisions. I mean, he's got the Cane of Samaria. We'll be able to check Talrum in GT as well.
Don't you hate having to do Meyer cutscene with a lamp?
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure that's how I did it as a kid. Wouldn't have occurred to me to use the fire rod in those confines.
Yeah, I think I'll probably use lamp. I think I went and opened up all the blocks and then ran and quickly done it in like 10 seconds. No, the chest! Can we still do it? Is it still there?
Don't know. I think he lost it.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Actually, I don't know. Is it still sitting there? If he goes back for it?
Mallow says yes, so I guess we'll find out.
I guess as long as you're still in the light world. Okay, mushroom was junk for all that. Oh, and here comes a warped swamp. We'll be able to do a few checks here. A bit limited without the flippers.
Yep. So, I mean, we could still find this hammer in Swamp. Which kind of just gives us more questions than answers, really. Oh, okay, we still got the purple chest. That's good.
And speaking of hammer and swamp, for HMG, Specky Clip is really just a quality of life improvement if you have to do hammerless swamp.
Oh, 100%. There's so much backwards and forwards without the Specky Clip. MrByer is going into Misery Mire.
Oh no. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to be a place you're going to think to go back for if you wind up in an ice rod hunt.
The only saving thing for MrByer right now is both items are fire locked.
Oh no, and he's using Quake without killing the Murderdactyl first. I mean, he does have red mail, so I'm not worried about the Murderdactyl killing him, but not great.
Yeah, we'll lose a little bit of health here.
Yeah, fortunately, just one heart. But that's the thing about Murderdactyls. Even on red mail, they take one full heart. And given how the vanilla game's set up, you're meant to first encounter them on green mail, where they take 4 hearts.
Yeah. I often think that. I was like, how did we play this game, like, getting all the way to Ice Palace on green mail?
Oh, Muffins never did Graveyard Ledge?
Guess not. I'm wondering if Muffin's now gonna just do the pod and Eastern play and put both in together.
Muffins also, I think, elected to skip Compass Chest in Swamp. That was the only other thing he had in Logic there. Without Flippers or Hookshot.
It wouldn't be in Logic without Flippers. Because technically we can do the whole dungeon without...
because Specky Clip still isn't in Logic.
Yeah.
Or HMG, so the game expects you to...
Yeah, the game expects us to do dumb things, so it expects us to flood the room, which would mean we hard require Flippers.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I guess if Specky Clip does become in Logic, then potentially, yeah, we don't need the Flippers to check the back, so a lot of the back stuff, like Flippers, could be in left side swamp with the use of Specky Clip, I believe, if that was in Logic.
You can Specky Clip left side too?
Oh, no, maybe not left side swamp. Maybe not that, but
yeah,
back
and everything.
Swamp, then. Yeah.
Well, oh, right, I just realized Specky Clip isn't an option. We still don't have Hookshot.
Yeah.
So it would have been annoying to try to get back into Swamp for the Compass Chest.
Yeah. It'd be very annoying also to try and Specky Clip.
So here's our first look at Pod in Cave State, as always.
Yeah. There's always that question, do you just carry on in Cave State, or do you just put it back to normal? Because it is a pendant, you don't necessarily want to do this. Yeah, not the front, but the, what is it, the compass chest, and yeah, everything at the back apart from Argus, I guess, could technically be in Logic, with Specky Clip being in Logic.
And there's Muffins Mitts.
I feel like for Muffins is very unlikely gonna hard follow those mitts. It does put Ice Palace in Logic with those mitts.
We're gonna go on to Muffins' music just because Muffins seems to have a bit of a lead at this point.
So yeah, I mean, I want to say MrByer will catch up a little bit of time here in Misery Mire. But unfortunately, we'll skip out that Ice Rod. So we'll have to see at the end, when the MrByer most likely is going to be in Ice Rod Go mode, how quickly they're going to, you know, pull the trigger and dive back into Misery Mire for 2 items. So for MrByer, where does he go now? I guess he would also want to go to pod right now. I feel like for both runners, that's kind of like the dense item checks right now. No, there's a compass on Vitty. So both items are on both fire locked. Oh yes, that's very, very true. He didn't unlock Swamp, so that's... Yeah, that Hera basement small key is actually very, very good news for MrByer. Although he doesn't know it yet. Yes, you're absolutely right there. So while we're having a bit of a lull in the seed right now as they're clearing out stuff each other has done, and we're getting close to that 1 hour mark. Shout outs to both these runners, putting on a good race for us. It's still not over. It's going to be interesting to the end. We still need to find a second sword as well before we can even think about fighting Ganon.
Yeah, always funny when you have silvers but still have to worry about enough of a sword to fight Ganon.
Yeah, exactly. Sword Go mode is the weirdest one. It's funny that Muffins done this Moldon fight at like 10-15 minutes into the seed, and here we are 55 minutes into the seed and doing the exact same fight.
You know, I just mentioned silver arrows, and then Muffins took down that Igor in one shot, and I'm like, how did he do that? And then I'm like, oh yeah, silvers.
Yeah, that's what silvers does.
Takes down everything except for Ganon and the giant eyeball of Vitreous in one shot.
As we get the synced up crystals.
Ah, yes, Muffins never paid off Kiki, did he?
No.
So, having to portal in exactly the right place so that you can enter pod without bonking is important. And he doesn't seem to be getting it. I mean, you could just pay the monkey $110, but who wants to do that?
Yeah, I think Muffins has kind of given up on that. I don't know. Is that even possible to mirror like that without bonking?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
I can't say I've ever seen it as well.
Actually, I was just thinking, you know, Muffins like you probably has to bribe Kiki with 110 quid. Even more expensive.
Oh, so yeah, as Malmo's pointing out, MrByer is going to get the key rat key to open up Swamp Palace. Because we were saying MrByer will need to go back into MrByer to pick up small keys to open up Swamp, which will kind of force him hopefully back in to get his ice rod. But because he's picking up this small key now, that's actually really bad news for MrByer.
Well, except he'll have to go into Swamp again once he gets flippers.
Yeah,
so
but
at that point he'll have unlocked the front, so he'll probably just go in the front.
Exactly. And here's one of those other uses for the swim clips.
Oh, Muffins never did King's Tune.
So is MrByer heading into Turtle Rock here? Laser Bridge? Oh, got himself stuck though. That's a little unfortunate. Yeah, a little bit of bad movement there, and you can get yourself stuck in the wall. So I wonder if Muffins is going to head back into pod. Nope. Putting off pod for a little bit longer. I wonder if Muffins is also thinking about Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I mean, Fire Rod could be in TR, and that would be really good news for Muffins.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's partially what Muffins is hoping for. So we have a few checks in logic for them with that Cane of Samaria. So we do have Chain Chomps, and we've also got the Spike Chest.
You mean Compass Chest?
Yes, is that the Compass Chest? I just called it the Spike Chest.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I tend to think of them how they're called in spoiler logs. Well, here's Laser Bridge. What do you know? A small key at the bottom of Laser Bridge. Who's ever seen that?
Oh my!
Well,
I've never seen that one though.
Problem.
Yeah.
And the sword problem.
Oh my days! So we found all the items.
And a French vanilla mirror shield.
So one was running around Kakariko finding nothing. We should have just come to Laser Bridge.
Now Muffin's gonna go for the hardest hover in Hookshot Cave. And doesn't get it. Oh, he's trying again. I was gonna say try from the bottom, yeah.
There's a Master Sword, Hammer, and Mirror Shield in Laser Bridge.
Okay, so Hookshot Cave was just pure junk for all that. Is Muffins thinking Spike Cave? No.
No, this is
This is a
Chain
TR
Chomps.
play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, this is a Laser Bridge for Muffins. This is the other way to do it. Without the mirror. So we have to move up, and then we do a little auto walk backwards. A bit of moonwalk in. That was actually very, very quick. That was very well executed there by Muffins.
And MrByer remembering that hammer now makes Mimic Cave a possible thing for him. As Muffins picks up his hammer and Master Sword.
I'm trying to think of the logic of how that hammer is in play. I want to say that it's actually fire rod locked.
Wouldn't it depend on the key layout?
Yeah, because one's in Laser Bridge, so we need 3 keys to get that last key. There's one there, but we also need the big key and the small key still. So I think one of those keys will have to be in the fire rod room. So I want to say that hammer is fire rod locked. But honestly, thinking of this logic kind of hurts my brain a little bit. Depends on the big key location.
I hear you on that. Like, as soon as you can get into TR from other entrances, the logic gets really thorny.
So I think Chain Chomp has to be a small key, and the Compass Room has to be a big key, and then that hammer is in logic. Otherwise, hammer is fire rod locked.
Well, Chain Chomps was that small key.
I still want to say that it costs 3 keys, but there'd also have to be a small key in the big chest, I believe. Okay.
So the big key we think is fire rod locked because we've seen everything else.
So that's one way to guarantee.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
the hammer is definitely logically fire rod
Yes.
locked.
So at least they don't have to worry about thinking about that logic, because that's as clear as day. Or what is it? Clear as daylight in pod. Whatever the team name was.
Sunny and Pendant Pod.
Yeah.
So Muffin's actually going out the front here, okay?
Yeah, I think wants to check Catfish.
He hasn't been yet?
No. We're finally heading over to pod.
All this jumping around, it's so hard for me to check who's done what. Getting TR portal open, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, might have done it here because you know that the big key's at the front, so you can pick up the big key and then just run away later. So again, we'll see how much. Now they both know hammer is fire rod locked. If they don't find the fire rod in pod, even though it's a green pendant, would you do the boss, even if there's an item there? Technically, we're still missing flippers and hook shot.
Yeah, I mean, being two other items from Go mode, I'd still be full clearing when the opportunity presented itself.
But we still got Ice Palace. We've got Pendant Ice Palace, which...
Ugh.
Yeah, again, same situation. It is fire rod locked. But we can get around with the Bombos, or even if we didn't have the Bombos.
Well, Bombos isn't fire rod locked, so the fire rod could be in a few chests in ice.
Yeah.
And is this Muffins doing the Smith chain?
Looks like it. We'll have
Only he can do hammer pegs too.
Yeah. It's a very weird situation they've found themselves in with this seed. Finding that... Oh, we don't want to see that.
Well, that's 2 more checks. And
yep.
can read PED. Though, I don't think anything we need could be on PED. Does ice logically require flippers in this mode? Oh, okay, so flippers could be on PED.
Yep. The only thing is we need Titan's Mitts with the new logic.
Well, we've got those.
Yeah. So it got rid of the flipper wrap. So, yep. Ice Palace now hard logically requires Titan's Mitts.
And then, of course, there's always the off chance that ice isn't logically hookshot locked, and hookshot could be on PED in that case.
Not finding much else in pod. I think, is that 4 items we're at now? We've definitely got 3. Found fair in a bottle, a heart container, and a book. Yeah, we've got no dungeon items.
I'm surprised we're hammer yumping when we've come around this way.
Yeah, I guess he wants to save that small key. Doesn't want to go bow side. So we don't have to pick up all those extra small keys.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
It looks like it might be an ice play here from Muffins. Oh, and there's the fire rod.
Wow, okay. So the hammer's in logic, and I guess MrByer, having seen that, is gonna finish pod knowing it's now fully in logic.
Yep, looks like it.
The problem for him is he needs that ice rod.
Yes.
And for those of you just tuning in, Ice Rod is in Meyer Compass chest, but MrByer obviously did mire without a fire source since he hasn't gotten the lamp and only just got the fire rod, so he doesn't have much incentive to go back there.
Yeah, with that fire rod as well now that we found, that puts a lot of GT in play for MrByer.
Ooh, wow. Well,
does that answer your question about flippers?
You were saying about flippers and ice. But now we're hookshot from no mode. It's probably going to be something rude, like on a tablet.
So actually, all 3 pendants were required because we got that Quake in Desert earlier.
Okay, big key is vanilla, so as long as we don't see both small keys over here on the right side, ice is not hookshot locked. Actually, I should say as long as they're not both here or in the big chest. And they're not. Okay, ice is fully not hookshot locked.
Oh, a bit early there on that Bombos.
Yeah, you think it's not going to get the second Freezor?
No.
Nope. Well, MrByer grabs our first pendant of the game.
Yeah, I mean, if hookshot's on green pendant, that is big for MrByer, and then that could potentially just give him that chance to get back into this one.
Well, and Muffins just got 3 items out of Ice Palace. Oh, I guess I spoke too soon about hookshot locked, because theoretically there could still be a small key in the big chest and a small key on Cold Stare, because Cold Stare's logically behind the big key as well. So we would need to see if there's a small key in Iced Tea before we could definitively say that hookshot could be on Ped.
Interesting play that Muffins is deciding to do hookshot the swamp over Palace of Darkness.
And here's our first look at Ether Tablet on MrByer's side. Junk, of course.
Yeah, Muffins hasn't been to Pod. He tried to go there and route it in with Eastern Palace, but mirrored and couldn't get back in. So left it alone. Might be just be going with the play. You know, if the answer is Pod, I've lost this race. So I'm going to do everything else. Although Pod is not a big deal to get back to.
Yeah, but Hookless Swamp is nasty.
Yeah.
But after Hookless Swamp, what's he got besides Pod?
Tile room.
And I guess GT Map Chest? Probably doesn't have enough keys to put it in logic, though.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think Muffins is quickly running out of checks.
At least he's up a key in Swamp, so he can do Diver down for left side.
I don't know how the big chest or the big key logic works with HMG. if it would require us to use the Misery Mire big key to open up the swamp big chest. I don't know if that's a thing or not. It's a small big key.
Yeah, so at what point does MrByer get funneled into back into Mire? And I just realized Muffins does have one other thing. We did only get one item out of Skullwood, so you could do the entire rest of the front and the middle, hoping
that's very
to
true.
find the second item.
I have a feeling they will go to Palace of Darkness before doing that.
I would hope so. I mean, you'd basically be going in for half an item.
In Scudge Woods. Wasn't expecting that, to be honest. But it's kind of interesting routing.
Speaking of which, I guess we'll find out from MrByer if... Well, he has the fire rod, so he'll do the back. So one way or another, we're going to get that second item. Ooh, Tapper.
It was just there. Otherwise, nothing much else. So you can just finish off Moth here and forget about Skull Woods. Or Swamp Woods, as I like to call it. So I want to say that Muffins has to go to pod now. I can't imagine there's too many options.
Well, with this mountain start, that looks promising for going to pod.
Yeah, this is a pod play here. Let's get speed, avoid the cabbages, and just going to do the other one instead. So yeah, we'll be getting the fire rod quite soon. So at this point, it's really looking like a hook shot in GT.
Tile room would be nasty.
It would.
I don't know what the key logic has to be like to allow hookshot in GT, though.
Ah, so Swamp Big Chest is in play, according to Spleevy.
Okay. Yeah, so that literally is only relevant if...
Oh!
Okay, well... MrByer's gonna get his flippers now.
Yeah. So, wow, that's a lot of items locked behind pendants. That's 4 items. 1 in each pendant, dungeon, and then all of them.
What was in Desert?
Quake.
Oh, right, which we actually needed for Mire.
Yeah. Again, that's good information for MrByer, but that ice rod is just getting further and further and deeper down that chain.
Yeah, like even less incentive to go into Mire now.
Yeah.
And poor Muffins, who didn't want to kill Cold Stare just in case it was a ped seed.
I mean, given his information, I feel like that was the right choice.
I don't know. As soon as I saw that ice was probably not hookshot locked, I had a sinking feeling.
Yeah, he didn't have book at the time. He knew Hammer was fire rod locked, so he knew fire rod's around. So he knew Ice Palace. So the only thing, according to Muffins, was it could only be the hook shot. So he figured fire rod's around. You know, I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to do GT. I'm not going to worry about the pedestal.
I have to imagine Muffins will check ped when he goes back to beat Moth, whenever that happens.
Yeah. Definitely. We'll very likely do GT first, I feel, though. So if Muffins does decide to do GT first, that will be given time for MrByer to finish that stuff and get into MrByer. Because eventually, even MrByer is going to run out of checks.
Oh, but wait a minute. Given that he glitched through the first part of Ice, did he not get the flippers? I guess he'll go back in and get the flippers afterwards.
I believe he got the flippers. Because he knows he's just going to the boss now.
Okay. Oh, okay. Just tracker lagging. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fair point because a lot of people will skip that Pengator room, but I guess when you're going into Pendant Ice Palace, you kind of want it to pay out.
Yeah.
So you might more than likely to do it.
And Muffins is out of pod, so he's going to need to double dip Ice just to beat the boss, double dip pod just to beat the boss.
Yeah. So this is times that MrByer needs to get back into this seed. I mean, the best thing for MrByer might actually be finding that flute, although generally we're not that bothered with finding flute. But it might give him more incentive to flute back into MrByer.
First look at Spike Cave. Fourth sword, ether, flute. Sankheart. Well, that does mean we can just cheese our way out of here.
Yep. For a second there, I thought MrByer was going back into MrByer. I was like, that is a wild play if you've got all this stuff to do and you're deciding to go into MrByer, but no, needs to do desert. Yeah, I think when you've got that hook shot in your Ice Rod Go mode, I don't think you'd necessarily want to do MrByer at that point.
So now he's full clearing swamp, presumably, after this. He hasn't touched swamp, has he?
He is not.
Okay, so he's gonna have to go in from Meyer.
No, has he opened the door? Because he got the key from the key rat in Hyrule Castle. So he's not going to go into Maya to use those keys.
Okay. Well, but he can't go in the front of Swamp. Oh, no. You're saying because he stole that key.
Yeah.
Would go in the front? Okay.
Yeah, so...
So confusing.
It is. So technically that Hyrule... what's it called? The key rat in Hyrule Castle counts as a Hera key. Again, MrByer gonna have that hook shot will give him a little bit of an execution advantage over Muffins. There's that flute.
We haven't seen Bombos yet, but again, like, what's even gonna be on it?
Yeah, nothing we really need at this point.
Both of these runners, one item from Go, and not going anywhere near where that last item actually is.
Yeah, right now these last items are just very out of the way for these runners. So it's going to just be who's going to make that correct play first.
Oh, well, there's the fake flute from MrByer.
Yeah, definitely been putting in the work with the fake flute in. Actually, this GT big key could potentially still be hookshot locked. So Muffins might just pick up the GT big key, know that the hookshot's not here, and go other places. Whereas MrByer won't know about the ice rod not being in GT. Yeah, just leaving. I mean, MrByer's definitely got the crystal advantage right now and dungeon advantage.
Well, I was about to say that this is Muffins definitely about to do Trine X while he's on the mountain.
Yeah. And it's just about cleanup now for Muffins. So, like you said, once he does get himself over to Skullwoods, we'll go check that pedestal. Realize, oh no, I should have cleared pendants. But we'll be essentially in no mode. Oh, that's very true. Yes. So Muffins can also scudge woods.
Oh yeah. So well, if he does scudge woods, he'll get his tempered sword at least.
Yep.
Because I imagine, like MrByer, he'll do that and then check ped.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was like, why is Muffins going in the front? And then I remembered he doesn't have big key yet.
Yeah. So I don't think this race is fully over, because although that ice rod is still really concerning for MrByer, there is a world where he will just decide, I'm just going to go Maya after he finishes Swamp. And Muffins has got a lot of dungeons he still needs to do and catch up on.
Hey, this is our first look at Tile Room. If we find the big key here, that could be good for MrByer.
It was Shovel.
Oh.
Muffins did do it.
Oh, I'm always looking at the wrong runner. No matter what's going on, I'm looking at the wrong runner.
It's Friday. So, I mean, essentially, can you call this an was it an HMG seed, like in the league with the all dungeons, but the GT big key is on pedestal. Effectively, that hook shot gives us GT big key, which was on pedestal. Yeah, almost hybrid glitches. I like it.
Hey, at least we don't have to do AGA 1. And there's Byer's flute. And with 3 smalls, he's not even gonna bother getting the small from the next room.
Ah, there's that fourth sword.
So, looks like even if Muffin somehow misses the sword in Skullwoods, he'll get that one on his way to the big key.
Yeah.
And now we get to my favorite part of the Leisure Suit Larry MSU, Habanagila Trinex, as the GT Big Key is in Fire Snake Room. Oh, but MrByer's continuing because he doesn't have the ice rod.
Mm-hmm. It's such a harsh thing, like to lose over like a lamp.
That's how Rando is.
It is. And it's just like, I had 2 items, 2 opportunities to find fire, and it just didn't turn up. But yeah, I still fully don't think MrByer is completely out of this yet. Like, he's had a lot of execution advantages over Muffins, which is saving him time here and there. Although he has full cleared this GT. So let's see what happens now. It's like we are going for Scudge Woods.
Where did that name even start? MrByer's been having trouble aiming his silvers today. He had trouble in the Landmo fight, too.
Okay, and gets in, so both of them managing to pull it off.
And Muffins is going to skip the sword here. I doubt once he checks Ped, he'll, want to get that sword on the way out.
Yeah. We'll probably go Moth. We'll probably check the one under the bridge. But then I can imagine going to check Pedestal straight after. And then getting the bad news, or the good news, depending on how you look at it.
The bad news that the 2 pendant dungeons he mirrored out of rather than beating the boss, you got to do them again.
Yeah. The good news, hey, you found Hookshot.
And honestly, if you're right here, it might even be worth activating the flute.
I don't know if they would, or if he would at this point. I don't even think MrByer will. Like, Pod, you're just going to go in through the side entrance anyway. Ice Palace isn't a big deal to get to. Although he might just run down to Desert Palace straight after. So yeah, we'll pick up this item and then most likely check Pedestal afterwards. And then the race is on. The countdown has begun for MrByer to find his ice rod.
Yeah, because he'll be better positioned if he goes to Meyer immediately because, hey, he'll have already done Agate 2.
Yeah. But we'll most likely go full clear swamp first.
Yeah.
Might skip out on the left side. That's always a decision he may or may not take.
And here's the news for Muffins.
Then it's the panic is like, oh no, what do I do? Where do I go?
Yeah, I do think if you're in MrByer's position, you kind of have to full clear swamp before going back to Meyer.
Yeah, I'd think so. But, Swamp's only next door to MrByer. He might just go full clear swamp and go back into MrByer knowing he's still got 2 checks in there.
Oh, right. They were both on the left side, weren't they?
Yeah. Like, it's a normal routing decision to do Swamp into Ice Palace, but this is HMG. We do things a little bit differently here.
Hey, nice to be able to do this Moldorm with the Butter Sword, like the game intended. And a Vanilla Post Moldorm chest.
Oh, that's a beautiful pattern there.
Oh, yeah.
Easy triple.
You don't even have to have taken advanced agonometry to get that pattern.
Oh,
Ooh.
no,
Oh.
that was so close.
Oof, misses the 2 cycle and is going to have a 4 cycle as a result.
Yeah, missed the... Would he get the climb? There we go. As Muffins picks up his first pendant.
Yeah, he literally just has to rush 3 bosses. Well, rush 2 bosses, pull ped, and then rush the 3rd. And then do the GT climb.
So hopefully for MrByer, if you're cheering him on, I was going to say rushes straight over to Swamp, but is going to take a detour over to Hammerpegs first. I don't remember if MrByer has opened up Swamp, might have to go through Hera. But this is time he can't afford to be taken. And of course, everything is open. Like, Go mode, Ice Palace is pretty quick.
Especially when you can,
Yeah,
do hybrid major glitches to get through the first part.
exactly. And walls are just a suggestion. And of course, we have got that pod big key, so it's not like we're going to have to go clear anything in Palace of Darkness. That was a very, very quick Hera pod. Wow. A very good dash clip as well. MrByer means business right now. So I think if MrByer does decide to skip left side swamp, it's a big call. And I think it's all still to play for. Because even once Muffins gets that hook shot, like, he's got a GT clear over him as well.
Right. Whereas once MrByer gets the Ice Rod, he can really just go into...
Yeah.
Laser
Bridge. Yeah, because he's even got the big key in... Just got to call it Turtle Town. In Turtle Rock.
Turtle Town has a ring to it, though.
It does, yeah.
Wow, Muffins takes down Cold Stare on his last magic.
Yeah, that's what I feel like as well, Speeby. I feel like it's a decision you're probably not going to make, but I've seen stranger things. I don't know where the rest of the dungeon items are, though. It was 2 items, wasn't it? Left side swamp. So we're probably going to be only finding maps and compasses and keys, big keys, in the back here.
Oh yeah, as Malmo's pointing out in chat, this is actually game 1 of a double header. So whoever does win here will be playing immediately afterwards to try to close out the series, while the other one will be playing to try to force a game 3.
Yeah. I think that's their tournament life as well.
Ah, this is the lower bracket? Okay.
I believe so.
Jeez, runners like these in the lower bracket.
I know, right? Yeah, with all the mentor tournaments and everything, people have just got so incredibly good. And so many new runners as well.
I mean, getting 48 people in an HMG tournament is pretty impressive.
Oh, for sure. Like the glitches world has just been growing and growing and growing every single year. More and more people joining in. I mean, it's interesting that MrByer has decided to go left side swamp first, but that's actually probably good for him because that's going to save him a little bit of time of having to come back in.
And meanwhile, this will be Muffin's third pendant. But I feel like it's going to be really close at this point, and I'd give MrByer a slight edge.
Yes, as long as he goes to MrByer next.
Where else is he going to go?
I'm not sure. They have that shovel. He might decide to route that in as well.
Shovel check isn't very long.
It's not, and it's kind of on the way anyway.
Okay, so now Muffins goes to Pulphead, finish Swamp. Still has to get the GT Big out of the basement.
Yep. And still has to kill Swamp, and even though it's quick to go mode Swamp, it's still going to take a couple of minutes. Oh, pretty good Argos fight here from MrByer. Yeah, he'll also have Master Sword as well, so again, losing that execution time over MrByer. Was that a big key locked big key in Swamp there?
Well, we did have that discussion, right?
Yeah.
Besides, even in vanilla, putting the big key in the big chest is possible.
That's true. And yeah, we're going to do a quick shovel check and probably go into MrByer. I mean, Muffins has now hit go mode. So that was about 1:42:55.
I mean, he was effectively in go mode. He only had the bosses in all of the pendant dungeons and
That was a save and quit.
What's he doing? Where is MrByer going?
Is this a Hammer Pegs and Turtle Rock Big Chest? Oh, you were right there.
Wow. Okay. Probably edge back to Muffins now.
Yeah, well,
But Muffins is going to spend a while in GT.
Yeah. It's going to be very, very close. MrByer probably had the edge. Oh, Hookshot Cave, of course.
Oh, right. He didn't hover.
I really don't know how this one's going to end. This is just giving time back to Muffins now.
Yeah, clock's ticking on Byer.
Yeah. I almost want to say I'll give the edge back to Muffins at this point.
Why does Muffins like Bomb Diver Down? I mean, I feel like Samaria Diver Down is just so much easier.
Yeah.
And if you're taking that long on it, it's almost faster to drag the statue.
I mean, we might be set up here for a photo finish with this seed. But I want to say I'll give the edge back to Muffins now because he's going to be put straight back once he's done GT. He's going to be right on the pyramid with his tempered sword.
All right, MrByer will have to get back to the pyramid, which is a little bit of a hike in and of itself.
Yeah. Yes, he will get tempered. So the big key is in the fire snake room, and the tempered's in the fire bar room. So just to check before he'll get his tempered and then his big key. Hit the switch. I do this all the time. You're like,
you
I just
do
want to
actually have enough time to go back before
Yes.
the flames burn out. It's just...
I am so thankful for that because the amount
Yeah.
of time you'll have to do the walk of shame. Oh, so here we go. Now it's a race for the finish. Yeah, at this point, I might still actually give it to Byer, but yeah, it's a GT big key grab and climb versus a Turtle Rock, basically a Trinex kill.
Yeah, I guess Byer does have the edge.
Yeah, very, very slightly. Oh, that's not how you do that. We'll have to set it up manually. Okay, gets there very quickly. I mean, this is crazy how this race has actually turned out.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know, when you see both runners one item from Go Mode for so long, and it's a different item, then it's just like, okay, who's gonna solve it first?
Yeah, I mean, for Muffins, it was those pendant skips, which I feel like it's completely justified.
Well, ice definitely. Pod less so because green pendant was still an item.
It was still an item, but you just found fire rods. And you've got the flippers, and you're basically hook shot from go mode at that point. And you've already skipped Ice Palace. You're like, I'm basically playing for green pendant, not even pedestal.
So there's crystal number 7 for MrByer. Here's GT Big Key for Muffins. But yeah, it would take a disaster for MrByer not to be able to get to Ganon and beat him in the time it'll take Muffins to do the climb.
You'd need like a fall or two.
Yeah.
I mean, Gold Sword and Red Mail, you just play a little bit safe. Although he's probably feeling the pressure. He's probably watching that race time thinking like, Muffins is going to finish any moment now. And Muffins is probably doing exactly the same. Although you probably feel less bad about that pedestal. But knowing you picked up that book so late, and especially because he couldn't get back into Palace of Darkness to pick up that book. And,
right, because he had wanted to do Pod earlier.
Yeah. So that could have been a completely different game if he was able to get back into Pod there.
Yeah, honestly, with how close this is, that might have swung things.
Yeah.
Because then he would have had the book, he would have had the fire rod.
Yeah, might have got his flippers a bit later, but I think the flippers have kind of been a bit more of a hindrance because Muffins ended up doing left side swamp without hook shot.
Well, Muffins having a bit of trouble with these landmos.
Yeah, not playing super friendly. There we are.
Ganon's also not playing super friendly. There we go. Just mistimed the fire rod shot for the torch glitch.
Yeah, just about avoided the fire bat as well. I think that's 3. We've got 1 point. Even getting some of those swordless hits in. Or silverless hits.
And 1 more silver for good luck. But get your GGs in for MrByer, who somehow came back from looking like he would almost certainly lose this race to finish first.
Yeah, GG's. What a race.
And he finishes with an official race time of 1:52.08. And Muffins gets upstairs here, sees MrByer's done, doesn't really feel like finishing out the tower after an hour 52 of playing HMG.
GG's, Muffin. I don't blame you for wanting to take a stop there.
I calmed an inverted key sanity last night that was faster than this.
I mean, those items were just awful.
Oh yeah, I don't know if the runners will actually be interviewing or if they want to get their second game underway.
That's a good question. And now chatting in race time for a little bit. But yeah, I think their second game is kind of like now, isn't it?
Oh, we got someone in here.
Ah.
We weren't sure
Muffin.
if you wanted to talk before your second race, but GG.
GG.
Just briefly, yeah. GG's, thanks.
That was unfortunate about when you locked yourself out of pod. We decided
I
that
know.
was probably the swing factor.
Yeah, and then I left pod for ages because I was like, well, I locked myself out of there. I'm not going back for a while.
And then you decided you didn't want the green pendant, so you had to go back through it.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that would have saved me here. Where I was is I've still got a few minutes, yeah, and it didn't take me that long to get through pod, I think. But
Yeah, that probably would have at least put you on the Ganon fight when Mr.
I
Byer
think
finished.
so. Yeah. No, indeed. Oh, Mr. Byers just asking what's happening with his stream. When I got the hammer on Laser Bridge, I realized that it was fire rod locked, so I just left everything that was behind hammer, which included cold stare when I was there, and then as soon as I got the fire rod in pod, I was like, well, I'm not doing Helmer either, so that was both pendants. That could have made the difference if I'd have done them both when I was there, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I think given your information, you made absolutely the right choices. Obviously, Mr. Byer played differently. He decided to go for the green pendant. He had the hookshot knowledge before going into Ice Palace, which actually led into flippers. As you probably know, it was the ice rod that kind of caught him because you had the lamp going into MrByer.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, my route ended up a bit different than I was expecting because quite early on, like my first save and quit, I went to go to Sank, but I missed I don't know, my down input got 8, and so I started at Link's house again. I was like, well, I'll just go do Saha instead, and then found the mirror, which changed up what I was doing completely, actually. So I was a bit thrown right from the beginning, and then, yeah, obviously the hookshot location was a bit of an unfortunate one for me.
Yeah, and for quite a bit of the seed as well, like Mr. Byer had like execution advantage, as in like had a tempered sword.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
had,
yeah,
like,
it was
fire
in
rod
Middle
eyes.
Skull Woods.
Yeah,
Oh, of course it was in Skull. as soon as I read Ped after doing the Scudgewoods clip, I was like, no, I'm not even gonna. I don't need that item. I don't care what it is. I'm sure there's another sword in Swamp or GT. But yeah, I did the whole one and done early and left that sword forever. GG's, Mr. Byer.
GG's, Mr. Byer.
Yeah, GG's. Oh man.
You came back from the brink there.
Yeah, well, when I was heading into Meyer, I realized after I entered that I had no fire, so I was skipping left side. So I was hoping the Meyer layout was fine, and then it happened both items were on left side, so I got nothing out of the Meyer play.
Yeah, Muffins actually clipped into GT pretty early, and since the lamp was in Hope Room, he had that.
Yeah, that's right. That's where it was. I was trying to think back to where the lamp actually was because I knew I had it for ages.
Yeah, it was interesting because I think Fire Rod was lamp locked, and then Hammer was Fire Rod locked.
Yep.
So I was like, where could this lamp be?
Yeah, we were kind of here like, oh, it was like, oh, don't worry, Mr. Byer's going to go back to MrByer because he needs the small keys for Swamp. So it was like, he'll wrap back in there. And then you went in to get the key rat from Hyrule Castle. It was like, oh, this is a last location ice rod for you.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about going there after Swamp, but then I remembered that I didn't do Hookshot Cave yet, and that was denser. It's like Hookshot and Big Chest, which I didn't know had the compass, but I thought it had an item. But it was Hookshot Cave and GT, so I went there instead. But then I went to Meyer. There wasn't that many options left at that point.
Yeah, I think both of you just kind of ran out this seed with checks, just checked everything.
I think I've literally got Flute Spot, Bombos Tablet, and Saha. That's it. Like,
For me, it's literally just Cutscene Chest, I think. That's the only check I didn't go to.
yeah, we were just saying before you joined, I was in pod late, so I got my Fire Rod super late, but I didn't do Helma because I knew I was just looking. I knew a lot was Hookshot. I knew a lot was Fire Rod locked, and then I was in Ice with my hammer, but with not it in Logic, so I didn't do Cold Stare either. So I had to go through both dungeons again to get the pendants to get the Hookshot in the end.
Mm-hmm. I think fire route ended up being convenient for me since I already did TR, so I knew I had to go back anyway to like grab the big key. So I just chained that into a Skullwoods play, and I got book also in, also in pod. So they'll let me check ped, and then I just rushed every single pendant afterward.
Yeah, it's exactly what I did. I just got there a little bit later than you did, unfortunately.
Right, well, GG's to both of you. I mean, it was a really exhilarating game one. I recommend watching it back if you have a chance to. But good luck to both of you on game two.
Yeah, gonna grab a 5-minute break and then get set up.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks,
Oh,
comms and everything.
Oh, also, one thing I forgot to point out. I think this is my 4th Ice Rod Hunt seed in a row. And 3 of those were tournament seeds. So,
Let's hope
hasn't
the
been
next one
feeling
isn't.
super great, like, in the past couple days.
You're a professional ice rod hunter now.
Yeah, when are we gonna get the true Ice Rod Hunt?
HMG. All right. Well, if you guys got any last things, because I don't want to keep you too long, because I know you probably want to de-stress a little bit after this one. But unless you got anything else to say before we.
No, I'm good. GG's again.
Yeah, GG's. Good luck in the next race.
And to you too.
So, yeah, I think. Well, we do have a tracker signed up. I don't know if they're going to continue restreaming it on here. Do you have any idea, Drosy?
Yeah, it's going to be right on here. We're going to have This Is Not Yoho on comms. I didn't see a second comm signed up yet.
Ah, we do have comm. Excellent.
Yeah, so stick around. Give the runners a few minutes to, stretch, freshen up, all that. And, yeah, we'll be back with you here with a new set of comms. But yeah, Obscura, this was fun. I'm glad we finally got to do this together.
100%. I've enjoyed it. We've got to do it again.
Yeah, maybe without technical difficulties next time.
That's what makes it interesting.
Of course, as always. But yeah, please stick around for game 2 coming right up.